Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all. Thank you for joining once again in our series of How is Your Tajwid? So today is the seventh series of our program. So let us recite Al-Fatiha first to begin our session. Alhamdulillah, today is 22nd Ramadan. So I do believe on these last 10 days of Ramadan, everyone is trying their best to improve their ibadah quality and quantity. And I do believe that by recitation of Al-Quran, we also try to improve our recitation and also to gain pahala from Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, which I do believe that Ramadan is the month for us to improve, even to initiate for those who are not recitation for quite a long time, for them to initiate the habit of reciting by Al-Quran and to improve our recitation quality. So today, I'm Shaiful will be the moderator for this event for the last 7 sessions, and hopefully will be until the end of this year. And together with me will be Brother Idlan, our permanent Tajwid sharer for this program. How are you, Brother Idlan?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Probably in the last 10 days of Ramadan, everyone is busy with their ibadah. So I do believe that the number of participants probably a little bit reduced for today's session, but nevertheless, this session is recorded. So we're going to share later on through Facebook as well as YouTube, IOHK. So we have learned a lot, Brother Idlan, since for the past 7 series, whereby we begin with the introduction. Then after that, we begin with the hukum of Nun Sakinah as well as Tanween. And lastly, last week, we discussed on the general hukum of mad, which I think is quite difficult in the beginning. There's a lot of issues we discussed last time. I'm really happy on that week. We discussed on the mad asli as well as several hukum related with mad. And today we're going to continue with another common, important hukum. I know every hukum is important, but I do believe that we still remember about hukum madlin, right? So I pass the session to our Tajwid sharer, Brother Idlan, to proceed with his sharing. Thank you very much.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalam.
Okay, so everyone, okay, so for those who just joined, so in the share, we follow riwayat Hafan Asim, and I want to add a little bit. Actually, for riwayat Hafan Asim, we have 2 tariq, which is 2 way, which is tariq Shatibi and Jazari. So in Malaysia, we use tariq Shatibi, and usually in Arabic, they use the tariq Jazari. So what we learn in Malaysia is tariq Shatibi, and all mukallaf Muslim is obligated to learn Tajwid. Okay, so actually, I want for today topic is Madlin, but when I look back, I think it is good to combine these two because these two is quite similar, and there is just a small difference. Okay, so for today topic will be Ma'ril Sukun and Madlin. Okay, so why I say this is similar, because both mad is caused by accidental sukun. What I mean by accidental sukun is that it actually that letter didn't have sukun sign, but it occurred because we stop, and it can occur at the end of the ayah, or it also can occur when we stop in the middle of ayah. So okay, so as we can see in this example, so it's actually should be turja'una, mean there should be in the end it should be have nun with above sign, But when we stop, actually the above sign is converted to sukun because we didn't read it. So we read it as turja'un. We didn't read it turja'una. We read it turja'un. Okay, so that is what I mean by accidental sukun. I mean, because we stop, so the sign either is below, above, or in front. So it is converted to sukun because we didn't read it at all. Okay, so that is the basic thing for ma'ril sukun and madlin. Okay, so what's the differences between madlin and ma'ril sukun? Okay. Okay, so for ma'ril sukun, okay, so I think okay. So for ma'ril sukun, I can say it is similar to mad asli. It's similar to mad asli, but the difference is that we stop after that. Which means after mad asli, and then we stop. Okay, so I think we will understand better when I show the example later. But that is the concept. Which means that it occurs when there is mad asli, and then we wakaf, and then we stop after that. And the duration for ma'ril sukun can be 2, 4, and 6. 2, 4, and 6. And actually in Fatiha also, I think almost every ayah. Okay. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay, so you see that mean. So actually, mina, alamina. So that is the what you call the exact word. But when we stop, alamin. So mimya, miya is ma'asli. But after that, we stop. Alamina, alamin. So when we stop, so that's what we call ma'ril sukun. And that's why we always hear the imam prolong when they become imam, they prolong Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. But some when they try to call in Tarawih, for example, they read Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Because it actually we can choose between 2, 4, and 6. So that is for ma'ril sukun. It occurs when we call there is ma'asli, and actually after the ma'asli is we stop, so we call it ma'ril sukun. Okay.
Brother
Then
Idlan, sorry to
okay.
ask. So about the harakah, right? Is it true that I think I've heard someone mention that if we choose the exact harakah, it should be similar in other ayah as well when related with ma'ril sukun. So since the beginning, if you choose for harakah, then subsequent ayah, if it's another ma'ril sukun, so you need to make it homogeneous. Is that true?
Okay. So yes, because for example like Surah Al-Fatihah. So you can see that every ayah have ma'ril sukun. So when we start with two harakah, so it is good. It is good that for the next ayah also we read it by two harakah.
Right.
But still we can because okay. Okay, actually
Still permissible to change the harakah accordingly, is it?
okay, about we can change because if we start with two harakah and then the next ayah is four harakah, I'm actually not sure how worried because from what I learned, my teacher said that if we start with two, we should proceed with two.
Yeah, yeah. I
But
also
tak lah.
then that, yeah. So we need to understand about that lah, right? So we need to follow that recommendation, is it?
Yes.
One more thing, I might be wrong. I just would like to revise back what I've been informed before by my teacher when I was in primary school. Is that in Mat Ali Sukun we need to, as if like we try to pronounce the subsequent letter. Is it like
Okay.
Rabbil Alamin? So is it true? Like you would like to mention Nun there. Am I right or actually not?
Okay. Saya kata
Again, the question, yeah. I think, am I right or wrong? Is that when you try to pronounce Mad Arif Sukun, as if like at the end of the ayah, you try to pronounce the subsequent letter. Example, like in Rabbil Alamin, the last letter is Nun. So we try to pronounce like Rabbil Alamin. Is it true that trying to, as if like our mouth or lips as towards the pronunciation of Nun? Am I right, or actually it's not like that?
okay, so I think for my sukun, we just the way we read it is just similar. Just the difference is that we prolong
Okay.
the
So as long
the
as we try to walk off or stop the ayah according to the harakah, then is considered mad sukun. No need to no need to combine towards the pronunciation of subsequent letter. That is not right lah, right?
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that is for Ma'il Sukun. I think I will show it better when we see the example. Then for Madlin. Okay, so what is the difference between Ma'il Sukun and Madlin? Okay, so as you can see, actually we have the letter of Lin and Madlin. So the letter of Lin, we call it is the letter of Lin when before waw and ya. Okay, so before waw and ya, there is above sign. So why it is called badly? So if you notice, actually for above sign, for from asli it is for alif only. But when before waw and before ya, there is above sign. Actually, when we try to read it, it will be quite different. Like it should be for alif it will be but for waw and ya, when the before it is above sign, it will aw or I. Okay, so it will be quite different. And actually, lean, the meaning of lean is that is mean gentle. But aw I. Okay, so that is the letter of lean, or in Malay we call huruf lean. So actually, huruf lean, it can occur everywhere, which mean in the middle or everywhere in the middle. But when the letter of lin at the end of the ayah, so it is called madlin. It is called madlin, and the duration actually same with the ma'aril sukun. Okay, actually for ma'aril sukun and madlin both occur in when we stop or in the end of the ayah. So duration also same, 2, 4, and 6. Okay. Okay, so this what I mean for huruf mad and huruf lin. For huruf mad, before alif is above sign, before waw is a front sign, and before ya is below sign. But for huruf lin or the letter of lin, before waw and ya is above sign. So if we see the example here, so for ma'il sukun, when we try to read it, illa khaifi or haruta wa maru. Okay, so that's why I say, actually we can choose. We want to, the harakat is 2, 4, or 6. But when we try to read Madlin, it's quite different because فتاب عليه فتاب عليه حذر الموت موت. I'm not sure if everyone can see the gentle part of Madlin, but okay, so there is but what the thing that important that actually before before ya and wow there is above sign. Okay. So how I remember this thing is that before the letter we stop, before the last letter, before the last letter we stop, there is huruf mat, there is huruf mat, and okay, so that is the thing we need to remember actually. Okay, before the last letter there is huruf mat. Okay, so that's one part. Okay, so the thing before, well, what sign before huruf mat? Let's make the difference between these two. Okay, so if the sign before the huruf mat is follow the follow the a, u, and e. So it is ma'rif sukun, and if before the letter of huruf mat, which ya and waw is above sign, it is madlin. So that's how I remember it. Okay.
And both can recite 4, 2, 4, 6 harakah.
Yes.
Both, both, alright.
2, 4, 6, both. Right. Okay, so I will go one by one for the example. Okay, so for mari sukun. So if you notice, for example, like this ayah, actually each ayah have mari sukun. And if you notice, actually maybe this is the art of Al-Quran, because if you notice, like for Al-Fatiha, actually you can see that each ayah, when the first ayah start with ma'il sukun, the subsequent ayah will be usually. So so for this one, ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل. So but usually we read like to kali ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول. Okay. So why we need to remember ma'ril sukun? Because some people they ignore the ma'ril sukun, like they read alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. So that is the wrong. That is so wrong, because there is ma'ril sukun. So what's the difference between ma'ril sukun and ma'asli? The ma'asli we only can read by 2 harakat. But for ma'ril sukun, we can read it 2, 4, or 6. Okay, so that is the first example of asli and ma'ril sukun. And if you notice, before the ya, there is below sign. Also here, and before the letter wow, there is above sign. Okay, that's for the first example. Okay, next for the next example. Okay, so for this one, you can see there is my sukun for the first, second, and the last ayah. So let's begin. قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون. And the last ayah. Lakum dinukum waliyadi. Okay, actually for Ma'arij Sukun, it is it is also one of the basic mat because actually it is abundant in Quran. So actually we need to understand it and remember it. Okay, so that is for Ma'arij Sukun. And
Brother
then
Idlan,
okay,
sorry to ask. If let's say that in mat Arili Sukun, sometimes
okay,
there are another mat sign, another if I'm not mistaken, sometimes we encounter another mat sign on top of that mat Arili Sukun. So it does means that the haraka should be longer when we wakaf the ayah, or we choose either one.
okay. Mat sign. You mean by there is like the wave sign?
Yeah, true.
Okay,
If I'm not mistaken, I think we do encounter that, and sometimes we would like to end that ayah. On top of that, we have another mic.
okay. So actually when you say there is a wave sign and we stop at what call, we stop there. It is not Ma'rila Sukun anymore because actually we will learn later. It can be either we call mat jaiz mufasil or mat wajib
Yeah,
muttasil.
that's it. All right. So that's another topic, right? Okay. All right.
Yes.
So that's not mat ali sukun. All right. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so usually that kind of thing occur when the last the last letter is Hamzah. Okay,
I see.
the last Hamzah. For example, like when because at the well in the third ayah, wala antum abiduna ma. Okay, so for example, like okay, ni just example. Okay, ma, and we stop at ma. Okay, so at first we thought that because before Hamzah there is alif, and before alif is above sign. Okay, so we thought that it is ma'ilif sukun. Okay, that's maybe we call that is the basic of ma'ilif sukun. But when we see back, when the okay, actually this another topic.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so actually it is not ma'ilif sukun.
Yeah. So in mat ali sukun, it should not be have any extra sign on top of that
Yes. Yes.
letters. Okay.
So that is for ma'ilif sukun. And also actually for in our even in Fatiha, even in Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, also ma'ril sukun. That's why sometimes we hear the Imam they prolong when they become Imam. So because there is ma'ril sukun and we can prolong it until 6 harf. Okay. So for madlin. Okay, so actually when we hear it, when we hear or when we see, actually it is quite similar with mad arid sukun, but yeah, the only difference is that the before wow or before ya it is there is above sign. Okay, so for this ayah, actually when I search in Juz 30, this on the surah I can find to have madlib. Okay, so I can see actually Madlin is not that much to compare with Ma'rili Sukun. So, but still we need to remember. But actually the haraka is still the same with Ma'rili Sukun. Okay, so how we read it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. It's actually uh, yeah, that's the way we read. So we can prolong it. لإيلاف قريش, or we can shorten it. لإيلاف قريش. It's not لإيلاف قريش. No, we should at least تحركه. لإيلاف قريش والصيف بيت من خوف. Okay, so that is Madli. So I think that is for my Elisuka and Madli. So there anything?
Right, thank you very much, Brother Idlan. I think for me it's crystal clear. So it somehow already revised back our, I think my memory lah about the understanding of the hukum Madin as well, Ma'arili Sukun. Yeah, and I understand so far regarding the harakah that we need to pronounce when we would like to wakaf the ayah, when we meet with the hukum of Ma'arili Sukun and Madlin. Yeah, I think it's okay. Yeah. So I
Okay,
think we can
so
proceed with the recitation
okay,
of the ayah surah, right? But it done.
okay. Before that, I want to emphasize one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in the example, I only show the Ma'ril Sukun in the end of the ayah.
Mm-hmm.
But usually,
Mm-hmm.
usually in in surah that is long
Mm-hmm.
and the ayah also long. So
Mm-hmm.
usually we might stop in the middle of the ayah.
True.
So okay, so we need to aware that if we the place that we stop, we can fulfill the Ma'ril Sukun or Madli. Okay, we need to we need to read like Ma'ril Sukun
Mm-hmm.
because because the concept is not that uh, because because it is the end of the ayah. No, the concept is that because we stop. Okay, why I say that? Because if if for example like for this ayah, ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل. So if we continue, if we combine the two ayah, so actually the hukum ma'ril sukun is gone, and actually the hukum here is ma'asli.
Honestly, to
Okay,
harakah.
yes, to harakah.
Mm.
Okay, so that's why I said that the basic concept is because we stop
Mm-hmm.
there. So it doesn't matter whether it is the end of the ayah. Okay, but usually in the end of the ayah because we stop there. But even in the middle of the ayah, if you stop, we still need to read like either Ma'ril Sukun or Ma'li. For example, like we stop at Alam tara kayf,
Mm-hmm.
kayf. So if you stop there, it will be Ma'li. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we still need because we still can read 2, 4, or 6.
Yeah. So it does not mean that it's always at the end of the ayah. It could be in the middle according to where we would like to work off or stop the ayah.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
okay.
even it is in at the end of the ayah, but if we combine
The
between
two ayah.
the subsequent ayah,
Mm.
so the ma'al sukun is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why the recall when we see the recall the definition, it occur because we stop after that, because it is wakaf after that. So I think that's another thing.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much, Brother Idlan. So the subsequent section will be that we're going to read few ayah from our selected surah. So I will read it first, and hopefully I can get some comments from our Brother Idlan. And after that, Brother Idlan will read the ayah as well for our better understanding of the pronunciation. And after that, we will give opportunity for those participants in our Zoom platform if they would like to recite the ayah together as well, right? So I'll begin this recitation. So this is still in Surah Al-Waqi'ah, right, Brother Idlan? Right, so I'm going to read ayah 31 until 40. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين صدق الله العظيم.
Okay, so I think it is a good recitation, but for well, in the verse 35, okay, in the verse 35, okay, so first about we call the ikhfa hakiki. In Sha'na. I think we need to emphasize more on Sha'na.
Yeah,
And then also, okay, so this is what we thought just now when the what?
yeah,
The last letter is Hamzah.
yeah.
Okay, so actually, okay, so
Let's say we not work off that ayah, the haraka will be 4, is it? 4 to 5,
yes,
4 or 5. But if
okay,
we work off the ayah,
okay, if Wakah is still,
okay.
but what the difference is that, okay, actually, this one is also another topic because if we see that above the Hamzah, it is Tanwin. Okay, so actually, if we notice in the verse 36, the way we read it is Abkara, also Atraba. So actually, for this one also, we should read it Insha'a. Insha'a.
I see.
Okay, so actually, if I'm not mistaken, this ayah is actually quite rare. Actually, it's hard to find when we stop at Hamzah and above the Hamzah there is Tanwin. And actually, at first when I start to read about the Al-Waqi'ah, actually I also read it well,
Sure,
I Insha,
sure.
yes,
Okay,
that
okay.
that is correct.
Okay. Try
Insha.
to enlighten me. So meaning that when there was tanwin followed by alif, so we need to pronounce its example abkara, right, in the
Yes, yes,
letter of 36. But in the letter 35, there is no alif. There's
mm,
only amza. We still pronounce insha.
yes.
The reason is because anything to do with tanween at the end, either it's with alif or not, we need to mention that as R.
Yes.
I see.
And actually we call it mat iwat.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much for that sharing, Brother Idlan. All right. So Alhamdulillah, I need to improve that on that. So this is a new lesson for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, so
So Brother Idlan, after this, no matter it's either with alif or not with the alif, as long as tanween, we need to pronounce it's R.
yes, but only for above tanween.
Okay. All right. Right. Understand.
Only for
Yeah.
above tanween.
Right.
Okay, so I will read it. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وماء مسكوب وفاكهة كثيرة لا مقطوعة ولا ممنوعة وفرش مرفوعة إنا أنشأناهن إنشاء فجعلناهن أبكارا عربا أترابا لأصحاب اليمين ثلة من الأولين وثلة من الآخرين.
Thank you very much, Brother Idlan. I revised a lot today, and I learned possible better understanding of the previous things that I've learned before. And hopefully this session will benefit all, including me. May I know if there's anyone from our participants who would like to recite the ayah as well before we end? Any volunteer? Right, I think there is none. Probably everyone are listening just now, and hopefully everyone understand. Inshallah, for those that joined just now and not joined since the beginning of the session, you can rewatch again in our YouTube channel as well as our Facebook, IOHK KOM Medicine. With that, Brother Idlan, I'm really thankful to you. Thank you for sharing out another new hukum of might today. And to Brother Idlan as well, to all participants, I would like to wish happy Ramadan. Have happy the last 10 days of Ramadan, and tonight is the 23rd night of Ramadan, and I'm sure that everyone already have a lot in their mind for planning of tonight resting of ibadah. So I would like to wish everyone happy ibadah for tonight, and may our ibadah be accepted by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. With that, let us end our session with Suratul As and Tasbih Kifarah. Thank you very much. There will be no more Tajwid session for this month, because next week will be our Khatam Al-Quran session, and after that we'll be celebrating Hari Raya, and inshallah we'll resume by our How is Your Tajwid session probably in May, inshallah. Assalamualaikum, take care, happy ibadah.